Assalamualaikum. My name is LAITU FATIHAH binti ISMAIL from AS2295C. I will present about executive summary from this topic. Plastic is the world's third largest waste source, with the total capacity of plastic waste increasing alongside with global population and per capita consumption. Moreover, Malaysia is following global trend for both actual single-use plastic consumption and plastic waste, and was the world top producer of plastic waste since 2017. Sources of plastic waste such as household waste disposal, industrial activity, sustainable tourism and recreation activity, and man-made activity. There are several ways in management of plastic waste in Malaysia, such as limiting the use of single-use plastic waste product, recycling the awareness, and waste-to-energy initiative. Moreover, there are several challenges and limitations of plastic waste in Malaysia. For example, improper segregation and handling of plastic waste. Plastic are form of synthetic organic polymer, which are one of the most widely used material because they are durable, lighter, flexible, and fairly cheap to make. First plastic were created in the 1860s, but it wasn't until the 1940s that plastic industry has been one of the world's biggest sector. Plastic are commonly produced and remolded until they approach the limit of their lifespan, where at the stage they are discarded as a waste. After this stage, there are two basic methods, which are landfilling that causes in leakage out of the plastic system, and restoration via incineration and recycling for energy and resources. On May 10, 187 countries voted to list plastic as hazardous waste and tighten control over its international trade. Lastly, one of the factors contribute to plastic waste is mismanagement of plastic waste.
Plastic waste generated in the environment through a variety of sources, both directly and indirectly. Firstly is household waste disposal. Plastic waste, which account for majority of household waste, poses the greatest risk to human health and the environment. Every year, Malaysian households generate 19,000 metric tons of solid waste, and plastic waste accounting for 24% of total solid waste. Next, industrialized activities also contribute to the plastic waste generation. The most important sector for plastic is packaging, which contribute approximately 50% of global plastic waste generated in 2015. The food industry depends on single-use plastic packaging in large quantity. According to United Nations Environment Programme, majority of current plastic production has migrated from durable plastic to single-use plastic, with packaging being the most common form. Unsustainable tourism and recreational activities contributed significantly to the piling of marine and coastal plastic. The Clean Coast Index revealed that plastic wastes are the most common type of coastal litter that give rise to 66% of total litter collected on Malaysian beaches, such as Marib, Desaru, Chenang, and Tanjung Arum. Abandoned, lost, or discarded fishing gears (ALDFG) are regarded as the primary source of plastic waste by the fishery sector. Total debris on the seafloor of the Mediterranean Sea and Northern Atlantic was primarily made up of 41% plastic and 34% ALDFG. Moreover, fishing gears also substantial producer for blue plastic fragment in the coastal sea.
My name is Syahiruddin Samsudin, and I'm going to present on the effect of plastic waste and also plastic waste management in Malaysia. The irresponsible disposal of garbage from plastic waste and plastic items can result in environmental degradation, which can manifest itself in a variety of ways, including a loss of natural beauty. There are three biospheres that plastic can pollute, from land to water and air. Microplastic contamination on the ground has resulted in a decline in organisms that dwell underneath the soil, including lice, caterpillars, and other microscopic organisms that keep the land fertile. Plastic pollution in water areas, wreaking havoc on natural factors such as biodiversity, economic activity, and public health. Microplastic were consumed by a range of aquatic organisms because of its small in sizes. For air pollution, CO2 is emitted into the atmosphere when plastic wastes are burned, and this CO2 can trap heat radiation and prevent leaving the Earth, leading to global warming. The majority of plastic additives are extremely toxic and carcinogenic. These are some of the additives that we use inside plastic in daily life. Bisphenol A or BPA is used to make the inside linings of food containers. BPA chemicals could seep from the polymers into the food as a result of prolonged use of food containers. In females, BPA would be an endocrine disruptor which stimulates estrogens. Polycyclic ovarian disorder and frequent miscarriage have all been linked to BPA exposure in women. High molecular weight phthalates are used in industrial applications such as food packaging and toys. Phthalates are hormone disruptors that have anti-androgenic properties. High phthalate concentration affect hormone levels, resulting in birth abnormalities. The last one from me is plastic waste management in Malaysia. The National Solid Waste Management Department, which is under the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, is currently in charge of plastic waste management in Malaysia. Before the National Solid Waste Management Department, local and state government handle solid waste under Section 72 of the Local Government Act of 1976. Malaysia government has launched a number of measures to solve the country waste management issue. Number one is recycling awareness. The Solid Garbage and Public Cleansing Management Act 2007 requiring domestic waste to be separated at the source. Number two is limiting the use of single-use plastic. Consumers and manufacturers of single-use plastic will be charged pollution fees under Malaysia Roadmap to Zero Single-Use Plastic 2018 to 2030. Number three is Waste to Energy Initiative. In 2019, the Ministry of Housing and Local Government has proposed that incinerator plant to be built in every state in Malaysia to enable the conversion from plastic trash to green energy.
I am HAIZAT bin ZEKRI from AS2295C. Now, I will be explaining on the challenge and limitation of plastic waste management in Malaysia. The first challenge is due to the lack of proper plastic waste segregation and handling process. Although the Solid Waste and Public Cleansing Management Act 2007 was developed along with a mandatory separation of household waste at source, it is identified that number of post-consumer plastic being segregated at source in Malaysia to be very low. Moving on to the second limitation. In Malaysia, multi-material plastics contain several chemical additives can be a challenge for recycling. Most used additives in different types of polymeric plastic material are plasticizer, flame retardants, and etc. Most of recyclers in Malaysia have pointed out that mixed, multi-layered and soil plastic limit the recycling process. Next is the third challenge, which is associated with the financial issue, as inadequate capital costs in Malaysia cause the market for recycled plastic to be high and competitive but with less demand. As we know, a key challenge for business owners is associated with both the cost and demonstrative benefits of using plastic recycled alternatives dependent on the market buying price. Last but not least is due to the policies and initiative by the Malaysian government itself. Legislation in Malaysia is unclear as there are no federal or state legislation that comprehensively deals with aspects focusing on plastic waste management. Policy implementations and enforcement do not seem to be particularly in effect due to several identified policy traps, which include conflict objective within or between the policies, incentive failure, and conflict directive from agencies or government officials. Next, several recommendations to improve plastic waste management in Malaysia have been outlined, which consists of a comprehensive evaluation of current recycling and waste disposal activities, ban on single-use plastics and microbeads, promote, educate and enforce the recycling of waste plastic, government support on plastic recycling supply chain, and lastly, conversion to biogas of petroleum-based plastic.
Some sources of plastic waste are household waste disposal, industrialized activities, unsustainable tourism and recreational activities, as well as harbour operations and fisheries. Plastic can lead to land, water and air pollution and can impact human health. Limiting the use of single-use plastic products, recycling awareness and waste to energy initiative are some measures to solve plastic waste management in Malaysia. The challenges and limitations are improper segregation and handling of plastic waste, difficulties in recycling plastic contain chemical additive, insufficient recycling capital costs, and unstable supply chain on recycled plastic. Therefore, government should conduct assessment of disposal and recycling initiative, promote public awareness, raise awareness through education, and provide incentive to public and recycling facilities to encourage recycling.